You're getting happy hands. Okay, so that was David. That was great. So I just want to start. I want to start with a quote. And this is from Joel Osteen, who I don't know, if I think probably most of you know who he is. But here's the quote from him. God has already done everything he's going to do. The ball is now in your court. If you want success, if you want wisdom, if you want to be prosperous and healthy, you are going to have to do more than meditate and believe. You must boldly declare words of faith over your life. So just hold that. I want to tell you, when I was a child, up until my young adult years, I was sick, but mostly as a young child, I just had sore throat after sore throat after sore throat. And so when I was 9, my parents and the doctor decided that I should have my tonsils removed. And so I did, and I immediately got really sick. And then every year I would get pneumonia, and usually right around my birthday. So my birthday's in January, so sort of the middle of winter. Even though I was in Southern California, it was, but that was it. It was right around then. And then there was a year and I didn't get sick. And so I remember that year I even told people, oh, somewhere in January you won't see me anymore. But then I didn't get sick. And I realized when I thought about it afterwards, I was like, well, what's different? Why aren't I sick this year? And the only thing I could really attribute it to was it was right around that point, which I think I was 19 or 20, that I started applying the principles of the science of mind, not just meditating on them, not just talking about it, but actually applying it to my life. Now, I will tell you that I haven't been always healthy. Most of you know that. I've had stuff happen. But what I know is at some point when I became ill, or, broke a leg, broke a shoulder, one of those things, my belief around those episodes changed. So the thing is, life is going to evolve or devolve according to our thoughts and our beliefs, and how you bring your thoughts and your beliefs to your life. If you want to live in a world that is evolving, take a good look at your expectations. What is it that we in religious science are really good at saying, well, this is what I believe. But then there's this other part of us, our expectations, that maybe aren't completely in accord. So I think it's important that right now and today, what are you expecting? Are you expecting boredom or inspiration? Are you expecting peace or drama? Are you expecting calm or chaos? This applies to both the things that you have control over, but it also applies to the things that you don't think you have control over. So it's important to stay in your faith, to stay in your vision long enough that it can begin to bear fruit. So yesterday, I have them right here, visual aid. Yesterday, we got these in the mail. So the three of us are ready to vote. We're going to do it today and go and drop our ballots off later today. But what I know is that I have an expectation around what's going to happen in November. And when I fill out my ballot, I want to know, as I'm doing that this is what I'm aiming for, that in this moment, these are my visions. This is what I want to have evolve. So, but what about the moments that I'm not filling out my ballot, or you're not filling out your ballot? What about then? What about between the moment of being very clear on your vision and the rest of the time that we have until the election? What I absolutely know is that I can't hit what I'm not aiming at. So I need to be really clear what I'm aiming for, what I'm aiming at. And then I need to do my very best in every moment of every day to keep that aim focused in every word, which means every conversation, every activity, every action I take. I need to be clear about my vision. So in this moment, I know that there is one thing that is imperative about my vision. So what I need to do is remain peaceful. Now, just like all of you, I also am subject to some other stuff, news, social media, opinions of all kinds that will come at me. So in order for me to remain peaceful, how do I do that? How do we do that? So I went to sacred scriptures, and I found that they're pretty much, and I didn't do an extensive, every faith tradition on the planet, but I looked at kind of the big four that we know. And what I noticed as and I was looking specifically for passages that had something to do with your adversary or your enemy and how do you treat them. And over and over and over, and I mean repeatedly, the pray for those who hate you came up over and over again. And I couldn't even count all the passages in the Christian Bible, but here's one from Matthew. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. I had a big why about that. Why would I want to do that? And I went back to Joel Osteen, and he says, every day we have plenty of opportunities to get angry, stressed, or offended. But what you're doing when you indulge these negative emotions is giving something outside of yourself power over you. You can choose to not let these things upset you. So I just love that. You can choose to not let these things upset you. You can choose, Candace, you can choose to remain at peace, to be peaceful. So what I've kind of noticed is as humans, we may not want to do this, to pray for our enemies, to pray for those who hate us. And so, but not wanting to, or thinking that we can't because our emotion is just so intense. As spiritual beings, we must. And I've heard, I don't know, 100 variations of I'm a spiritual being, have a human experience. But the spiritual being always comes first. That is where your power lies. So what we talk about is going to reproduce. So we really need to look at how often we speak the words that are healing and not divisive. How often do we speak the words of peace instead of frustration and anger? Those words are like seeds, and that they're going to produce for us, and then we get to eat that fruit. So make sure that this is fruit you want to be eating. That these are the things, as we declare them into our life, we need to be very careful how we use our words, because these are the seeds that we are planting. I think it's important that we look within and ask ourselves, so what is calling? What is in me that is calling me to represent the highest and best of who I am spiritually? And so I know that today it's important for us to call in perfection, wholeness, love, abundance, peace. But I also really recommend that we call in being a unifier. It's still a pretty long ways until November 3rd, feels that way to me, but I know that together we can start to really create substantial change in our world just by being who we truly are. So today, as always, I just ask you to stay in that place of infinite peace and infinite understanding and allow yourself to be that unifier. So now is the time for our treatment. And as always, we're going to start with a minute of silence. And during that minute, if something comes up for you that you would like treatment around, please put it in the chat. And when I do the treatment, I'll also include whatever requests are there in that treatment. So just join with me and take a couple of deep breaths. And enter into this amazing place where we feel and incorporate the essence of who we are. Dr. Holmes wrote, "There is only one life. This life is God. This life is perfect. This life is my life now." In this awareness, I know for myself and everyone here that we feel the deep, abiding love, peace, joy that lights up our hearts, energizes our thinking, and so that we go about today knowing great truth, great harmony within ourselves as we stand as great unifiers, as we stand as great peacemakers, as we have a clear vision and we allow it to be that thing that motivates us through every action, through every word, through every circumstance. And that we are gladdened by this, for we know that that is what we have been brought to this moment, this time to do. And within this knowing, I allow it to flow out to every being, known and unknown, seen and unseen, great and small, as we recognize for all of them the richness, the fullness, the opportunity to be the change we wish to see in the world. And so I feel the blessing, and I declare that this truth is accepted into the mind of God, acted upon right now, and I let it be so. And so it is. So take a deep breath, and as we move from that awareness, we move into the practice of circulation. So yes, now is the time for our offering. And as always, I want to begin by thanking all of you for your ongoing support, for the love of our center. And I want to remind you that there are now three ways to make a donation to the center. The first is you can, as always, just write a check and mail it to the center at 741 South Oak Street in Ukiah. You can create, if you use electronic bill pay, you can create a payee that is the center, and then pay directly to the church that way. The new, and I'm very excited to announce, the new way to donate is we have a PayPal donation button on our website. The payment will go directly to the center, and but if you go, what you need to do is you just need to go online to cslukiah.org, and you'll see there's actually 4 buttons there, or 3 buttons there now, but one of them is PayPal. So you just click on that, follow the very simple directions, and you're done. So having said that, let's do our offering affirmation together. So say with me right now: divine love through me blesses and multiplies this gift with all my heart and with all my mind. I know that I'm saying yes to something I value. With all others present here, we dedicate these gifts to the values and vision we share. Okay, so just a couple of quick announcements. I'll just let you know, I haven't heard anything from anyone about doing any kind of midweek service or check-in other than one suggestion from a couple of weeks ago that was here while we were doing the service. If you're interested in doing something like that, please let me know directly. Also, I still post every day, pretty much, on Facebook a question of the day that is just a fun way to connect and get get your juices going. They're not always terribly deep, and sometimes they are. Sometimes they're just for fun. So if you go to Facebook and you type in Candace Beckett, because it's directly there, you can just answer my question. I also want you to know that on our website, we now have, other, besides for the donation button, there's a button there that will take you to Facebook. There is a button there that will take you to YouTube. So if you miss the service or you want somebody to take a look at that, you can go to YouTube and do it. And the other button that's on there is a link to this Zoom meeting. So you only want to hit that one on Sunday mornings, but in the time being, that's what we've got. So the last announcement is, again, Bonnie asked me to remind you that in January we'll be having our annual meeting. It'll probably be virtual, but that's okay. But at that meeting, we'll be electing 2 new board members. So if you're interested, or you think you know somebody who might be interested and you'd like to make a suggestion to Bonnie, please let her know by either texting her or call her and let her know. So now I'm going to have David come back because he's going to play us out. And but if you guys all stay on the call after David is finished, we'll have time for doing some just group discussion. And so, okay, if I just sit down.
You just wanted to see the party.
Oh, he's all day. He wants to. There you go.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. Okay. fun. So again, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to end the service officially, and we'll talk to you in a minute. So to everybody, namaste, and thank you so much for coming today.